So, Tim, a lot of focus on ballast water conventions in 2020, but there's another European convention on the horizon, 40 days away, that people aren't talking about that they perhaps should be.
Yep, this is the European Ship Recycling Regulation. Yep, it will be implemented for European flag vessels after December this year. So we do have something else to focus our minds on, and that's one of the reasons that we were here this morning at this breakfast seminar for INTERTANKO.
Now, obviously, the convention is well-intentioned, but at the same time, what is to stop an owner with an EU flag from changing flag in advance of a decision to recycle or to sell on for recycling in order to avoid the high costs or prosecution that comes with this convention?
Well, right now, there's no legislation in place, and that's what's coming down the line in Europe. At the moment, any sort of pressure that's placed on an owner is pressure for his reputation or their reputation in terms of NGO platform, the environmental lobby, tracing that vessel back to that owner and highlighting this in the public domain.
There does seem to be more visibility about the issue. And could this lead to shipyards being offered an incentive to take back ships built by them, maybe on an exchange basis, a full cycle, if you will?
This cradle-to-grave sort of concept has been mooted around the industry for several years. If you look at the fundamentals of things, where is there the need for the steel, where is the need for the components of that vessel, it doesn't necessarily tally with the current shipbuilding nations. At the same time, we've got China as well that has taken a policy to not take in waste going forward. So I think as the only state that would have potentially used some of those shipbuilding yards as recycling yards, I don't think this is something that will take any traction in the future.
And finally, Tim, today's breakfast briefing was a rerun in thematic terms anyway of the one we did in Singapore. Did you perceive any change of mood or understanding in the audience this time round?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of a greater understanding and significance. It has since we did the event in Singapore in April. I think there's been a lot more press focus on this issue, and I think being here in Europe as well as a heightened awareness of the impact and significance of the European legislation. So I would say yes, there is a slight difference, and there is definitely a warming to this subject within the industry.